I've always been a little bit obsessed with making money. It's only now at the wise age of 32, soon to be 33 next week, that I've come to understand why this is. It comes from a place of fear. Growing up, I saw many financial struggles in my household, and it did nothing but breed stress, anger and uncertainty with my parents, and then later on in life with myself. There's this great quote I really like and can relate to, and that is, our biggest successes are born out of discomfort, uncertainty and risk. Now, I grew up with this discomfort around money, and I promised myself I would do my absolute best to never be in fear of it again. Or at least the fear of lacking it, that is. So looking back in a weird way, I'm actually grateful for all those financial worries that I witnessed my parents go through, as it lit up something inside of me to be the complete opposite. If it wasn't for those hard times I saw growing up, I wouldn't take care of my finances in the way that I do today. So with that being said, here are 3 ways I make easy money outside of my day job. These ideas are completely accessible to the vast majority of us. It's just a case of getting started. And yes, I'll link to all of these things below. So first up, we have bank switching. Now, I've made well over £1,000 from simply switching bank accounts. It's the easiest way I know of to make some money that requires no real work, and it's completely legal. For those who don't know, many banks will pay you to switch from your current bank account to their bank account. They are paying you for your custom, and the cash incentives are usually really decent, easily ranging from £150 to £200 and even some up to £250. I've personally switched from Bank of Scotland to First Direct to Nationwide to RBS to Co-op to Lloyds to Barclays, and I've received a cash incentive each time I've switched my account. Now, many people instantly shut this idea down, thinking it's too much effort, it's too time consuming, and the fact it could negatively affect your credit score. Some even say they don't want to switch away from the bank account that they've always had, some going back as far as their teenage years. And I'm here to tell you from experience that it's not too much effort, it doesn't take that long, and my credit score has actually never been higher than it is right now. Also, you don't need to switch away your main current account that you've always had. You can simply open another bank account, and yes, that's right, you're allowed to have more than one bank account, and use that bank account purely for the purpose of getting these switch cash incentives. Now, a great resource here is Money Saving Expert. Just Google MSE Bank Switching and you'll get an up-to-date list of banks that are currently offering switching incentives. Just follow the steps, make sure you're eligible, and all will be good. Then it's just a case of enjoying the free money when you get it. So next up, I'm going to lump 2 separate things here. The first being a research platform called Prolific. Prolific allows you to complete various online studies, basically a fancy word for surveys, and you'll get a cash reward for doing so. And the second thing I'm going to mention is a website/app called Quidco, which allows you to earn cash back on many things you're most likely already buying. So starting off with Prolific, I think it is the best survey website out there today. The cash rewards are decent, and there are plenty of surveys or studies to complete, at least in my experience. You fill out a load of info about yourself, only adding what you're comfortable adding, and you get surveys related to you made available. You then complete these to the best of your ability and you get paid for it. The money you earn from doing this can be transferred to your PayPal account balance. I've completed a total of 469 submissions and I've earned £483 for doing so. This amount could be much higher if I spent a lot more time on it, but I've been focusing on other things, so the time input hasn't really been there to generate a huge cash reward. This is a great thing to do if you have some downtime, in my opinion. So get yourself a tea or coffee, sit down, do a few surveys when you've got some free time, and let that cash build up. Now, moving on to Quidco, and some would argue that earning cash back is not a money maker. But in my opinion, if you're earning cash back on things that you're going to buy anyway, then it is a money maker. And also a complete no-brainer. I mean, why would you not want to get some money back if it's something you need to buy anyway and it's not going to affect the total price? I just don't get it. I've used Quidco for years and I always check to see if cashback is available through them before I buy anything online. Some of my biggest wins have been from insurance renewals and holidays, but even the small wins like getting a takeaway at the weekend, it all adds up. My total earnings are now at £2,194. And again, at least 95% of this, I would say, is from things that I was going to be buying anyway. I would never buy something purely for the cashback because I'm not an idiot. And last but by no means least, selling stuff online through the likes of eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Now, I've sold loads of things over the years on these platforms. Initially selling things that I owned that I no longer needed, but then moving on to reselling specific things. And this is where you get things purely for the purpose of reselling them for profit. In my opinion, a good way to start is to go through everything you own and just ask yourself, is this something I need? Is this something I want? If not, can I sell it and get some money? Now, again, a lot of people will pass this off and think yes, but then you've got to take into account your your eBay fees, postage, packaging, all that sort of hassle. But don't let those things stop you from even trying, because there's always ways to work around it. For example, I tend to list things locally on Facebook Marketplace first. And yes, many people on there can be a complete headache to deal with, but this does then mean avoiding postage and packaging, because a lot of the time people can come and collect from your doorstep, or you can deliver to them if it's easy enough. And just a side note, if you're selling purely to make a profit, be mindful of your trading allowance. This is a £1,000 tax-free allowance we get here in the UK for trading income. But if you're simply selling old stuff from around your house, it is highly unlikely that you'll need to declare earnings and pay tax on it, so please don't freak out too much. HMRC have a really handy online calculator to help with this, and I'll make sure to link it below. So with the ongoing cost of living increases, inflation, and just trying times all around, I feel it's more important than ever to earn extra cash if we can. Hopefully some of the ideas I've shared here have helped spark something inside of you, and if so, just pick something and get started with it, as getting started is always the hardest part. So let me know if you do any of these things or if you plan to do them soon, and I will happily do a follow-up video if there's enough interest or questions around this.